welcome back to the channel. We're doing a Kashtira mirror match, an in-depth analysis on how the mirror match for Kashtira is going to go. I've played it and I can tell you it is a weird matchup. Sometimes it's a Wild West and it's a top deck war, and if you're going to tournaments like YCS Leon or OTSs, I think this is the video you want to watch. Stay tuned and keep watching, and I'll see you guys in the video. Real quick, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm sees us. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of January, and I'll catch you guys in the video. So I'm going first here, and the opponent's playing Kashtira Adventure, so this is another version. It is a version that has an Omni negate, which of course Kashtira does not have an Omni negate. So I'm just doing standard combo lines here. I didn't start with the unicorn, so I had to do some awkward lines here to actually just play the game in the first place, and then we start with a awkward turn one because all we have is the Infib, Infernal Permanence, and a free tactics talent. So the opponent does a unicorn play. He does have his engine, however we can rip a card out of his extra deck, but that triggers his unicorn, but we have the imperm for his unicorn. So that was a nice way to bait his unicorn effect and then do an imperm, and of course block a zone. But his rate gets scary because of the engine of Sacred 7 Stars. He's drawing 2 cards, he's getting a lot of advantage, and of course the Draco back. Because Strangler comes draw valid card effects, it's quite hard to take him out. However, if you have the Draco back, you can just bounce it into the extra deck and then you don't have to worry about it. So I think that's going to be a really interesting out. Adventures be looked at a lot more these days, and I think this is why, because Draco back is a huge out to the Shangri-La board, the Kashtira board, and I think the opponent is mostly just doing, you know, typical adventure stuff. And guys, there we go. You know, unfortunately I could not stop Draco back, which is super unfortunate. He did misplay quite badly by putting Draco back in the column of a back row. It could have been an imperm. He normal summons the Kashtira Fenrir. However, the activate Riot are amazing, so he can't activate the effects of Fenrir. I think the opponent misplayed doing that. Obviously, I misplayed by putting mine in defense, and I wish I didn't do that. Here is the main thing I wanted to talk about. Getting the Nibiru as a Kashtira player sucks, and in the mirror match, it's the most awkward thing ever. And one thing I realized, and probably something I'm going to start doing in my gameplay, is potentially summoning the Nibiru token in attack mode so that you can actually destroy it and empty your field. Something we never thought we'd see players do, but I think it's going to catch it to a lot of people. Because that doesn't happen here, it results in a stalemate where it's the Wild West. You know, Berth can draw the gun the fastest, whoever can top deck the fastest basically. And like I said, because my opponent had a defense position Nibiru, I could not clear my Nibiru. So that was, it's hard to see. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. He kind of bricks as well. He actually has a Nibiru himself. He does eventually clear it, again giving me the Fenrir, but guess what? He's got a hand trap. So this is what I'm talking about. The mirror match, I expect a lot of hand traps coming. The engine is so consistent. Everything can be a 1-card engine. Everything's really searchable. So naturally there's like 10 to 50 spaces just throwing a bunch of hand traps. And right now the trend seems to be Imperm, Ash Blossom, and Nibiru. So, you know, those are some hand traps that people are seeing. Of course, the Ghost one is nice as a counter to the turn 0 tournament board. You just hit the Kit Kalos. So yeah, I just gave Berth, and another card I want to talk about. This card is really good in the mirror match. Dagger for hire. This card is 2 monsters with different, I believe, types, and then it's able to tribute itself and pop a monster on your opponent's field. Luckily, it's not a face-up monster, so if you do a Concealing Light, Book of Eclipse, Book of Lunar Eclipse, Dagger for hire, you'll be able to pop their monsters, and it's a great way to empty your board. That's one of the reasons why this card is so popular right now. They have to get rid of the Nibiru, and I have to pass turn. I do have a Dead Talents in the hand and face down. It's just really awkward. You hate to see it. I did a misplay here. I thought to myself, hey, my deck is super consistent. I'm only going to banish 3 extra deck monsters, and we're mid game as well. I should have banished 6, and I should just went all out and searched that 1 card that would have won me the game. He does have a Nibiru in hand, which is hilarious. Yet, you know, we're talking about the mirror match, we can expect, and how I think you can play better going into it. Pop Prosperity and cards that big stuff out of your deck, the card that is going to win you the game, gain you the advantage, because again, you want to make sure you find those pieces. But yeah, I have to do the Papyrus, unfortunately, and maybe I should run an Ash Blossom. He tops deck a Scareclaw, attacks me directly for, not for game, but here we go, guys. Like I said, this is a Wild West, this is a top deck war, and there we go, there's the Unicorn Express summon. It doesn't have a negation, luckily, so we go crazy here. I believe we do get nibbed, I'm not sure, because I want to, you know, try and extend an OTK, right, which does go over 5 summons. If you don't know what the Kashtira combo is, make sure to check out this video here. This video goes through the standard combo line, and we use real life cards. Try watching it that way. I do have a video for that. You get your magic card face down, block a zone, and also resummon a Exceed material from Shangri-La. Trigger the Parizos too, which is pretty sick. And that was our 5th summon. Yes, that was our 5th summon. The field gets wiped out. You hate to see it. We do get a talent for 2. Damn, the opponent does the exact same thing as me, but he has a monster on the field. So I wonder, again, you know, we're talking about clearing monsters. Dagger for hire. Is that potential 2-up? I don't know, but I know the card is really good. And one thing I sided was a Drawn Lockbird because the deck searches a lot. The Drawn is a really good card, but guys, you do have the Berth on the field. Do some of the Fenrir, some of the Kashtira Element. We're having a good time here. Bring out the Unicorn, bring out the Scareclaw Kashtira. Oh man, you'd love to see it, and we win the game. So that was a really good display of what the mirror match is like. I hope you guys were able to find some value in that. Just expect a Wild West shootout, a top deck war to happen. And what helps in a top deck war? Consistency cards. Cards that start the engine, cards that, you know, are not bricks that you might think are nice to have as a 1-0. Guys, Kashtira Berth, the MVP. I think this is critically planned my favorite Kashtira monster. In my opinion, I think Berth is the actual field spell for Kashtira. I don't think it's Priceless. I think Berth does way more than what Priceless does, except obviously searching. And if that be said, let's go into the next replay. We'll be showing a replay against Sky Striker. So of course, Sky Striker had the recent support from Magnificent Maven. So we're gonna watch them combo off here. This is post siding, but let's see what the opponent does here. I believe he actually activates a dimensional barrier. So we also get to see what it's like playing around that. And guys, I don't think the deck is afraid of dimensional. I think the deck actually plays really well into it because the monsters are so strong. Of course, Kashtira, you know, what a lot of people are saying is the ultimate power creep to Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, with every monster being a boss monster, you could say, and having these crazy built-in effects. So we're able to bully the opponent here. Yes, we are losing attack, but that's fine because we're going into some crazy exceeds, I believe. We locked out of exceed. We're still able to banish cards from the extra deck. We don't care about rate, guys. I'm going to say this right now. Sky Striker, okay, Kashtira is Sky Striker for breakfast, okay. I just don't think the deck can do anything against us. If there's a new Sky Striker build that comes out that beats it, okay, good for you, but as far as what the deck is now, I think this deck just absolutely dominates over it. It doesn't matter what he does. The deck is just too much advantage and we have strong monsters to back it up. So we're going to keep watching this. He is banishing stuff. But again, guys, the next part, Kashtira Berth, vanishing 3 cards from extra deck face down. As a Sky Striker player, you hate to see it. As a Kashtira player, you love to see it. And again, Kashtira Berth is, I'm going to make a petition. Kashtira Berth is the new field spell for Kashtira. Okay, guys, this card is amazing. And I don't know why people are not playing at 3. Opponent is doing some typical Sky Striker stuff here. I don't know why he popped the Unicorn or the Rise Harp, but you know, whatever. He does do a Kagari, but I believe the Fenrir. Yep, the Fenrir triggers now. And the Unicorn triggers. Guys, I don't know how Sky Striker is going to beat Kashtira post Fortune happen over. If you're a Sky Striker player, I'm sorry. He doesn't more too well. He doesn't get to set any cards, even because my Berth banished them, I'm pretty sure. He does do a trap shift for an infinite permanence and surrenders because the advantage is too much. What you noticed there was we just summon monsters on the board, be able to win from there because the attack is so high for these monsters. He can play quite well under Ride of the Warlords, but doesn't play well into Gozen Match. So maybe, perhaps, Gozen Match will be the new tech going forward for anti-Kashtira decks. Maybe Sky Striker plays Gozen Match, you don't know. Third replay is against Kashtira versus Runick Ishizu. So the Ishizu play is starting off with a nice Munin. I think this play is actually quite decent the way he's playing. I like his play style. He's able to do some pretty nice combos and nearly deck me out. Oh, his name is actually Deck Out, so there you go. But yeah, Runick Farted going absolutely crazy. The Mini Chill is not good. This is blind game 1, I'm pretty sure. We do draw some cards in our hand here. Let's see what else the opponent does. He's milling 5. It's, you know, I don't think Kashtira doesn't mind the milling because we have Berth to bring back those monsters from the grave. We have cards like Papyrus, you know, banishing other Kashtiras in the grave, and if Papyrus is banished as them from banish mounted hand, we drew everything we needed. We drew the brick of Kashtira Big Bang, but that doesn't matter at all. Obviously, the opponent is literally desperately waiting for his fountain to trigger off here. Let's see if he actually does do it. And like I mentioned before, the Papyrus banished Kashtiras can be simply added to your hand, which is really good. Berth is pretty nice against Runick, I've got to say, but we don't actually get to trigger it in that way right now. We have to go to Shangri-La, of course, the boss monster of the deck, allowing us to do other great stuff for the deck. And like I mentioned, guys, the Scareclaw Kashtira, the MVP banishing the Kashtira Big Bang, is letting us resummon one of the materials under the Shangri-La, which I believe was the Fenrir, and now Fenrir's effect is live. Yeah, Paralysis going absolutely crazy. Prosperity for 6. So I'm just like way ahead of the game right now, but the opponent just can't do anything about it. We even drew an Ash. Oh man, I don't know how the Runick player beats this. I don't think he does beat this. When you see 5 level 7s on the board with a Shangri-La, guys, I don't know how you beat that. I think I titled this replay ST Block Zone, so that is probably what we're about to see. Spoiler alert. Oh man, this is pretty crazy. He's got 4 cards in his deck. I know your name's Deck Out, but I'm about to deck you out, my friend. So let's keep watching the replay. You'll love to see it. Because power damage is half because of Prosperity. And then yeah, Shangri-La stab by base, bringing out the Fenrir. More chances for us to basically banish. That was an accident, ignore that. And then the opponent surrenders. Why? Because I blocked his spell trap card zones. You saw my community post if you saw my combo video. I did mention this. There is a combo line that I showed in the combo video talking about how you can block zones, and make sure to go check that out. That is the 3rd replay. And guys, that's been the video for Kashtira, going over some replays, focusing on the mirror match experience and what you can expect going into it. If you are attending YCS Leon, I highly recommend watching this video. Of course, Kashtira is a brand new deck, so not everyone is going to know how the deck plays. And let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more Kashtira content. And with that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.